Vanakkam Dohadeva and everyone. Wonderful to be with you. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vinvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Must be Mother's Day in Asia, right? So happy Mother's Day. Share the screen. Screen again. Here we are, so it is correct. First is an answer to a question to satsang@hindu.org, and we have lots of questions pending. How meditation can be used to become better at academics and activities like dance, martial arts, music, or painting. A core aspect of meditation is the ability to concentrate the mind. Improving our ability to concentrate helps us to be more successful in all our endeavors, external and internal. So that's one way in which practicing meditation helps all activities, because it helps us improve our concentration, which relates to everything, external and internal. Oh, the question for you is, what is a natural way to start practicing concentration? What's something that everyone can easily do every day that will be improving their concentration? A natural way to start practicing concentration is to be mindful of everything we do during the day. And that leads into our pub desk, entitled A Hindu View of Mindfulness from 2019. While mindfulness has been redefined for popular secular purposes, its original spiritual intention remains unchanged. Mindfulness, yoga, meditation, as similar as they are, they have important differences. Of them all, mindfulness is in the ascendant in popular culture, though the others have built up a larger following over time. A Google search yields 2.4 billion, yes, that's a B, billion hits for yoga. I updated these numbers a couple of days ago. Couldn't believe it. It had about doubled from 2019, when it was 1.2. Now it's 2.4 billion. Overwhelming amount of information on yoga. 618 million for meditation, and a mere 253 million for mindfulness. As is commonly known, yoga originated in and is still an integral part of Hinduism, though in today's popular concept it is a secular practice generally limited to stress reduction and physical health. Originally, and still today in India, it had a more profound spiritual role as a comprehensive eightfold discipline known as Raja Yoga, which we're familiar with. Mindfulness has followed a similar path. With origins in Hinduism, it became a key element in Buddhist meditation, and in today's mainstream culture is relegated to a secular practice, for example, to support emotion management, reduce stress, and focus the mind. In the Hindu approach, emotional management Stress reduction and enhanced mental focus are also important goals. However, they are beginning level goals, not the total practice. The Sanskrit term smriti, which means remembering, speaks of the idea of being mindful, remembering ourselves and our relationship with what we are aware of, being present to that. So, story, I noticed an interesting relationship between mindfulness and memory. Common cause of not being able to remember something we did is that when we did it, we weren't being mindful of what we were doing. We were doing one thing and thinking of another. Therefore, the memory is not a strong one, or may not exist at all. A person who is forgetful may simply be a person who is unmindful. So that can be a serious problem in later life. So we want to practice mindfulness to minimize that tendency. Mindfulness is a preparatory practice for Raja Yoga, which leads to the advanced attainment of higher states of consciousness and ultimately union with the divine as the omnipresent and loving consciousness within us. These mystical states are not part of today's secular definition of mindfulness. This is interesting. An article in the April 5, 2019 New York Times shows how far mindfulness training has drifted from its Hindu meditative roots. Quote the article, mindfulness, the practice of using breathing techniques similar to those in meditation to gain focus and reduce distraction, is inching into the military in the United States and those of a handful of other nations. This winter, Army infantry soldiers at Schofield Barracks in Hawaii began using mindfulness to improve shooting skills. For instance, focusing on when to pull the trigger amid chaos to avoid unnecessary civilian harm. The article goes on to list a few other countries that are also providing this training to their military. There's mindfulness for elite athletes, actors in films, Michelin chefs, and for 3-year-olds in daycare. It is both tragic and ironic that this spiritual discipline has been reduced to a tool for training soldiers to shoot the enemy better. So we're not objecting to it being used for that, but if that's all it's used for, it's certainly lost its higher purpose. What exactly is mindfulness? How would you define mindfulness? Give you a minute on that. The Positive Psychology Program, the Netherlands, offers a terse definition. Mindfulness is attention in the here and now. You think they read Gurudeva's teachings? Here and now. Mindfulness is attention in the here and now. Very good definition. Said another way, it is directing our full attention to what is going on in the present moment, without letting the mind think about or be distracted by something else. Note that mindfulness is a form of practicing attention, and we'll come back to that point. There are other ways of practicing attention, but paying attention mindfulness is a form of paying attention. For example, in performing simple chores such as making a meal or washing the car, the full mind is on the task. In listening to a friend explain what he or she did yesterday, we focus 100% of our mind on what is being said, not allowing ourselves to think about something else at the same time. While eating a meal, we focus on experiencing the different tastes and textures of each dish. In Gurudeva's teachings, attention is the first step of the progressive mental practices of Raja Yoga. Next is concentration, meditation, contemplation, and self-realization. These are his original terms in his writings before he started using the Sanskrit. We could reword the first steps to say that they are mindfulness, concentration, meditation, contemplation, and self-realization. So mindfulness or attention precedes concentration. Gurudeva explained that, for example, attention, if you're reading a book and focusing on the words, you're practicing attention. You're not practicing concentration. You're not generating any of your own thoughts. You're just paying attention to someone else's thoughts. Gurudeva described attention as holding awareness steady, centralized in only one area of the mind. Quote, attention is awareness poised like a hummingbird over a flower. It doesn't move. The flower doesn't move, and awareness becomes aware of the flower, poised. The entire nerve system of the physical body and the functions of breath have to be at a certain rhythm in order for awareness to remain poised like a hummingbird over a flower. Now, since the physical body and our breath have never really been disciplined in any way, we have to begin by breathing rhythmically and diaphragmatically, so that we breathe out the same number of counts as we breathe in. After we do this over a long period of time, and you can start right now, then the body becomes trained, the external nerve system becomes trained, responds, and awareness is held at attention. So regulating our breath is the key to practicing attention successfully. Then we have our mindfulness exercise. Take a walk, ideally in nature. Notice every detail that you can about what you see. Perhaps you have had the experience of walking with a young child who spontaneously described details that you hadn't noticed. Young children have keen powers of observation because their intellect is not overactive, nor have they accumulated excessive burdens of unresolved past experiences that consume adult minds and memories. We can try to be like children by noticing as many details as possible. Practice of mindfulness is integral to success in meditation. Common experience of those trying to meditate is that thoughts go all over the place, with the meditator unable to quiet them. So instead of meditation being a stilled pond, it is a stormy sea. Those are huge waves. The ability to control our thoughts can be compared to utilizing a muscle. To make a muscle stronger, it requires exercising it on a regular basis. The more we use it, the stronger it gets. Some things, the more you use it, the less you have. Money, food. But a muscle and attention are the opposite. The more you use it, the more you have. The ability to control the mind is the same. The more we control our thoughts, the stronger our ability to do so. If we can control our thoughts during ordinary daily activities, say for 8 hours a day, then we have put in a great deal more effort than we do during a 30-minute meditation. 16 times as much exercise. This will definitely accelerate the speed at which we are becoming better at controlling our thoughts. So that's the advantage of practicing mindfulness. You can do it all throughout the day. And that's strengthening your ability to be attentive and eventually concentrate. Our definition of mindfulness uses the term here and now to describe the present moment. The past can be described similarly as the there and the then, and the future as the where and the when. Many individuals habitually spend a significant amount of time thinking about past and future, thoughts that result in no positive benefit. These journeys into the there and then and the where and when are a waste of mental energy and increase our level of worry and stress. Such thoughts are counterproductive to being present in the here and now. So here's one you may not remember. What is Gurudeva's suggestion about limiting time as a way to be more in the here and now? Gurudeva gave a helpful practice for reducing these pulls to past and future. It's easy to live in the now if you work with yourself a little every day and concentrate on what you are doing each moment. To begin to work toward establishing yourself in the eternal now, first limit time and space by not thinking about or discussing events that happened more than 4 days past or will happen more than 4 days in the future. This keeps awareness reined in, focused. Be aware, ask yourself, am I fully aware of myself and what I'm doing right now? He then takes the exercise a step deeper. Once you have gained a little control of awareness in this way, try to sit quietly each day and just be. Don't think, don't plan, don't remember, just see and be in the now. That's not as simple as it sounds, for we are accustomed to novelty and constant activity in the mind, and not to the simplicity of being. Just sit and be the energy in your spine and head. Feel the simplicity of this energy in every atom of yourself. Think energy. Don't think body. Don't think about yesterday or tomorrow. They don't exist, except in your ability to reconstruct the yesterdays and to create the tomorrows. Now is the only time. So that's a mystical statement. We're always just in the now. Except in movies, the future and the past don't exist. It's only the now that exists, and we're thinking about the future or the past in the now. Sitting quietly in the present moment can put us in tune with a deeper part of our nature, our intuition. During such quiet moments, we can have intuitive insights, such as clearly seeing patterns in our life and in the lives of others. For example, we may find that in taking on a new project, we do so with great enthusiasm. But as soon as we encounter the first major obstacle, we become negative and give up. Armed with this insight, we can work to create a new habit of persevering in our endeavors when faced with obstacles. Sitting quietly in touch with our intuitive or soul nature also has the benefit of feeling at peace with ourselves, more content with our situation in life, and more accepting of the experiences we are undergoing. Freed of the past, unfazed by the future, we live in the security of the present, the eternal now. Rishi Patanjali, as we know in the Yoga Sutras, defines yoga as the restraint of mental activities. This is usually thought of as a discipline that applies only during meditation. The traditional Hindu concept of mindfulness expands that idea to include restraining the movements of the mind during all of our everyday activities. Clearly, the more mindful we are, the easier it is to quiet the mind during meditation, which will lead to profound experiences of our intuitive soul nature. And back to the original question, how does meditation relate to success? Those who practice meditation have improved their concentration, and that concentration being better enables them to be more successful. And the simplest way to improve our concentration is to be mindful to everything we do throughout the day. Second topic, curiosity, which is the 17th character quality of our character building workbook. How would you define curiosity? Workbook gives this definition. Curiosity is an active interest in finding new aspects of the people, things, and situations that one encounters. Finding new aspects. I cultivate this virtue by using the power of observation and asking questions to make new discoveries, even in what seems familiar. The opposite is indifference. Gurudeva's quotes. We all know human nature because we are people living on this planet. We are fickle, we are changeable, we are always curious to try new things. Change is a wonderful part of life within certain bounds. We do not want to be too restrictive, yet we do want to be strict. This knowledge he, the realized master, then imparted as needed to the students who came to him curious or eager to solve the philosophical and metaphysical puzzles of life. So curiosity and eagerness is what this teacher was looking for. Oh, then we get the comparison of the actions of one who is curious to one who is indifferent. First situation, when a major solar eclipse happens right above your hometown, you run inside to explore the astrophysics of this rare phenomenon. Indifferent. Wait until the sun reappears and head for the mall. Second situation, on a field trip at a museum display, when the curator describes the history of the region, you, curious, ask questions wanting to know more about the area and the people who lived here before. Indifferent. Or bored, ask no questions and distract yourself by texting your friends. Third situation, when a group of immigrants from Bhutan moves next door, you, curious, are eager to know more and visit their home with lots of questions. Indifferent. Find them uninteresting and never stop to welcome them. Oh, moment of reflection. Take a moment to identify a few ways in which you could improve in curiosity. And the assignment. During these 2 weeks, watch for unique happenings in your life and take the time to learn more about them. Pursue at least 2 new observations each week. So very good. That's our presentation for today. Oh.